The Alphas are proud to initiate the creation of ETAF, Emerging Technology Alpha Funds Federation. Under the leadership and vision of Dr. Paul Dominique, ETAF is a federation of funds that will invest in emerging technologies, especially in the telehealth industry. The raison d'être of ETAF is to empower the startup and technologies of tomorrow to emerge strong and liberal post-COVID. Dr. Dominique and his team are dedicated to support the best technologies out there while looking to bring down the cost of medical and dental procedures. Our goal is to democratize and to empower healthcare. Telehealth is a prominent vertical at ETAF. Cryptocurrencies, fintech, personal growth and psychedelics are other verticals that ETAF will empower. If you want to be part of the leaders of tomorrow, reach out. ETAF, Emerging Technologies Alpha Funds Federation. Welcome to the Alphas.
Avoir un impact, créer sa légende, et surtout pourquoi le faire? Telles sont les questions qui intéressent AlphaVision. Nous décomposons l'essence des grands de ce monde, que ce soit leur état d'esprit, leur façon d'agir ou même d'interagir pour vous amener leurs secrets, non seulement face au succès, mais surtout lorsque confrontés à des situations d'échec. AlphaVision vous rapporte les leçons de leurs défis, ainsi que la synthèse de leur réussite, et ce, sans langue de bois. Au-delà de leur expérience, vous aurez accès à leur sagesse, à leur compréhension du monde, à un point de vue différent, savoir ce qui les façonne. À vous d'avoir les mêmes armes afin d'avoir une ascension sur l'échelle de vos accomplissements. Athlètes olympiques, entrepreneurs chevronnés, leaders et bâtisseurs, la route commence maintenant. Animé par Jonas Diop, AlphaVision est l'endroit où les alphas partagent leurs rêves et visions, leurs aspirations et expériences afin d'inspirer la prochaine génération. Entrevoir le futur et le mettre en marche, voici les maîtres mots de ceux qui marquent le monde. Une idée, une volonté, une dynamique. Bienvenue chez les alphas.
Hi, I'm Dr. Back. Welcome to the Alphas. A year ago, we started a crazy journey. It was COVID, everybody was stuck home, we were benched, and then we started connecting. Within a year, it's amazing the kind of friendship and progress that we've done.
Last year on the Alphas, Dr. Back recorded 2 series of podcast, $1 Million Mindset, 40 episodes, and The AlphaShow, 30 episodes. Within the Alphas, he co-wrote and published 6 books with 2 more to follow soon. Aftermath, April 2020, written with Dr. Eric Lacoste. Relevancy, May 2020, with co-author Dr. Paul Willett and many Alpha guest authors. Midas Touch, June 2020, with co-author Dr. Julio Reynafaja and Dr. Paul Willett. The Power of DR, June-July 2020, in collaboration with the Global Summit Institute founded by Dr. Kiana Shah, with co-author Dr. Pavel Krastev and many guest authors. The Modern Woman, August 2020, with co-author Dr. Emily Letran and guest author Sharon Lecter. Touchstone, November 2020, with co-author Dr. Ken Sirota. All these books are available on Amazon, Apple Books and at Barnes & Noble.
We wrote the future and the hope of this industry, the dental industry. A year ago, we were strangers. Today, we are partners. Today, we're your anchors. The Alphas has built up the reputation throughout the world to thrive on leadership, on innovation, and it's my privilege to announce to you that we'll be announcing the creation of a federation of funds.
From the Alpha Summits and Talks, we are proud to announce the creation of an investment fund federation, ETAF. The Alpha was also the scene for a huge merge of tens of millions of dollars with the buyout of ColdWell Banker Quebec. This year we are announcing the creation of AMP, Alpha Merger Protocol, to help companies and CEO to bring their company public, not through IPO but through SPACs, Special Purpose Acquisition Company. On this, Dr. Back just accepted to join forces with one of the leading telehealth company in the USA to bring them to market. And guess what? We are just warming up.
Unfortunately, we don't like to read that much anymore. So we create a new format, the combo format. Combo meaning that you have the paperback version, but also you will have access to the audio version of that book. By today, we're the only one in the world having this kind of combo. They are distributed by Amazon and Barnes & Noble.
In the same time, Dr. Back has developed and launched successfully a new platform to enjoy books and stories, UAX, streaming on Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon Music and all major streaming outlets.
Mainly it's a movie without image.
Developed to entertain you and to stimulate your visual cortex throughout the reading of an audiobook.
And we're not done yet.
This has been a great year with the release of 5 albums distributed by all major music outlets.
5 albums out.
Streaming on Apple Music, Spotify and Amazon Music. In the meantime, Dr. Back scored the new world record of writing 72 books within 36 months, and he did that with 10 days in advance.
And you know what? Barnes & Noble has picked up on a trend. Today, they're publishing our book within days after it reached Amazon. So even this will be accessible to you, because Dr. Back has become a publishing company too.
Yes, we will sharing with you our secrets and our tools, opening up to you the Alpha Protocols, a way to write your book within 24 hours of your working time, and publishing them within a month to Amazon, Apple Books, Kindle and Barnes & Noble.
I wrote by hand 1.16 million words, but you won't have to.
The Alpha Protocol will be available to everyone by 2022. In 2021, it will be available exclusively to support CEOs and companies founders to help them prepare their road to IPO and mergers.
On this, I am so glad to announce to you that I'll be starting my journey of taking 50 grand in a portfolio and try to bring it to 1 million.
Follow his journey in Cryptoeconomy 101. This will be a book, but also a blog and part of the $1 Million Mindset podcasts.
Writing books brought me to meet so many people. And those people are all bringing their part of knowledge on the table.
Oh, and one last thing. Dr. Back is right now at his 88th book. He is running to set the next world record of writing 100 books within 4 years. He will have until the end of August this year to set his new world record. If last year was crazy, this year promised to be even better.
I can't wait to see what you'll be doing with our tools. I can't wait to hear your story, your hope, your dreams. Because if there's one thing we learned throughout this crisis is COVID brought us closer together.
Celebrate with us the first anniversary of the Alphas.
I'm Dr. Back. Welcome to the Alphas. Hi everyone, welcome back to the Alphas. I am Dr. Back, and it's been a while. Actually, we're celebrating our first year anniversary, and we have tremendous news for you. But we're gonna start huge with a comeback from last year. We have with us 2 presidents who were there about a year ago who talk about how can a president inspire you in confinement, how they are moving forward. I have with me Terry Kilakos and Clint Saraylian. Terry, Clint, welcome back.
Hey, Bach, how are you?
Thank you, Bach, for having us.
So something big happened last year. It's you guys met and on the screen with everybody as witness, and you guys fall in love. Did you?
Yeah, we had like a love affair that occurred after the Alphas.
Yes. Yeah, interesting story.
Would you like to develop that?
So I'll Clint, and you could jump in.
I'll jump in after, yeah.
But when we had done, I don't think that me and Clint had ever met before or had ever talked before the Alphas, right? I could be wrong, right, Clint?
That was the first time, I think. Yeah. I had seen your advertising. I had known about your radio show. I knew you were a very successful mortgage broker, and ironically, we did that. We did that last year. It's exactly a year. It was on April 15th. I know it because it was my son's birthday,
There you go.
April 15th, 2020, we did that. And look at us now.
Hi, Dr. Back. Welcome to the Alphas. The COVID-19 has united everybody to join the same front. We're all facing the same threat, and for the first time in history, all interests align. This Wednesday, I have the honor to join with two heads of industry. Presidents in confinement, Kilakos, who is the president and CEO of Northeast Mortgage, and also Clint Saraylian, the CEO of ColdWell Banker Qc. They both going to join me to share with us the experience of trying to stay active in confinement, staying to keep the team together in confinement, and also share with you the secret of keeping the business afloat in this crisis. I'll be speaking for the behalf of Abex & Co. Together, we hope that we can share with you valuable information helping you to go through this crisis. Together, we will prevail. Together, we will succeed. Presidents in Confinement, Wednesday, April 15. We're going to be there sharing with you. I'm Dr. Back. Welcome to the Alphas.
April 26, 2021. Yep. Look where we are now.
Exactly. It's amazing how things change. So after we did the show last year, we were kind of just, I went about my business. I continued doing what I do. And we started to look at some opportunities because Northeast was looking to expand, and we were actually looking to expand into the commercial space. So we started looking for companies to acquire, to see how we can grow that kind of division, right? And completely out of the blue, we end up finding this, company where we had actually no clue who it even was, because it was all hush hush. We couldn't know about it until all the NDAs were signed and everything. And at the same time, I end up getting Clint reaching out to me completely out of the blue to do some financing for some projects, right? So I mean, literally, one has nothing to do with the other.
Yeah.
And then next thing I know, it's Clint's company that we were looking to acquire, which I thought that was kind of funny. So I love the way that the universe works and the way it puts things together. And I'm a firm believer in when something is meant to be, you end up getting all these signs that occur.
Yeah.
And here we are.
When I received actually was brought to us by a business broker.
Yeah.
When I received the offer and when I saw Terry's name on it, I must say I was relieved. I knew that he was a good guy, good reputation. I said, this is my baby, and I don't want to just pass it on to just anyone. So I felt like the company is going to be in good hands, and it's going to be even more nurtured, and the seeds are going to be planted well, and it's going to grow into something even bigger. So I was relieved that Terry came to the portrait.
To our audience, what we're talking about? What did you buy, Terry?
So we Northeast. Actually, it's not so much Northeast as much as it is myself and my business partner Marav Marciano. So we acquired ColdWell Banker Commercial Alliance, which is I would say it's pretty much one of the biggest commercial brokerages in Quebec, and it was actually Clint's baby. So we made that acquisition. We finalized, I believe, in March of this year.
Yes,
but
we were very recent, last month, basically.
Exactly, and we had been in due diligence for a little while before that. But so that's what we did. So now Northeast has basically, although Northeast primarily focuses on residential purchases and mortgaging and all that stuff, we have ColdWell to complement Northeast and vice versa. So we've created this synergistic relationship between the two agencies where, referrals can kind of go back and forth. We can provide commercial services to our existing client base at Northeast, and vice versa. Obviously, on the ColdWell side, we could provide the client base over there with residential services.
So mostly what happened there is you got bored and you went out and you shopped for Clint's company. Is that what I'm hearing?
Exactly. Yeah. This is what happens. Like I was stuck indoors during COVID, and I said I might as well, stress myself out a little bit. So we decided to.
And I was kind of stuck on this side of the border. I live. It's been almost 5 years now. I live in the United States, in Florida, with my family.
Poor guy.
But you know what? I could write a book with my cross-border adventures and going back and forth all the time. I was doing it like it was so smooth until this COVID came and threw a wrench in the plan.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to come back since I haven't been back since August of last year, and it's not because I don't want to. I would love to come back. It's just that the quarantine, the 14 days, and all the other restrictions, staying in a hotel and this, that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to leave my family and just come like that for a couple of days. Doesn't make sense. So I was kind of stuck here, and we met and we had the opportunity to pass on the baton, as they say, and
we are.
But I'm still staying on in the company, and I'm working with Terry and Merav very closely. And this is a very good company. Like it's one of the oldest, if not the oldest, real estate company in the world. It's been around since 1906, and the Quebec market hasn't really been worked on. It's all over Canada. Quebec, we're the only office. And there's so much room to make this company grow in Quebec. So that's what Terry and Merav are going to do. So they're going to bring it to the next level.
And imagine, Buck, in 1906 when the company started, Clint was just like a little kid back then,
Actually, he has to be older because this is his baby, right?
That's right, exactly.
Look how good I look. Look how good I look for a guy that's 115 years old.
It's the Florida weather. It's keeping you young.
Clint, you're saying that you're staying on board of ColdWell Banker Quebec?
Not necessarily at the helm, but I'm staying in as a broker and as a consultant, and whatever Terry and Merav need me to help them with to make the transition go smooth. That's what I'm here for. And I really, like I said, I really believe in this company. It's just personal matters, and things had to move on for me. But on the other hand, I have other news for myself. I'm working very strongly here in Florida, and concentrating on bringing Canadians to Florida to buy real estate. So and vice versa, I'm bringing Americans too to buy real estate in Montreal. So I'm doing cross-border brokerage, you could say. I self-designated myself as a cross-border broker. TD has the cross-border broker, cross-border banking term. I came up with the cross-border broker. So
there you go.
This is huge, guys. This is huge because we're talking about a huge transaction of something, one of the respectable company in Quebec. If I may, how much was the transaction?
Oh, that's not to be discussed. It's in the billions, of course. No, it's not in the billions. NDAs were signed for that.
Yeah. You could edit this part out.
No, I have a question that, as soon as I learned this from you, Terry, I was so happy for you guys. And
absolutely.
I know that when we had an interview, we were talking about what presidents do in confinement to help our public. And you were saying that you were there to support people and to help people. I remember that you also have a petition about trying to just put everything on hold about our loan payments.
Yeah.
But here's my question to you, Terry. It's how do you keep that mindset of expending while everybody was contracting, especially COVID time. I think everybody had a hard year last year. Most people were reacting, and you were proactive. What happened in your mind?
So, for you to understand kind of what happened, I have to rewind time a little bit, and it might end up being a little bit of a long story, but bear with me here. I first got into the finance space in 1999. So when I got into it, I was working for a company. We used to sell mutual funds and all kinds of investment vehicles. I was working as a financial security advisor. And at that point in time, everything was peaches and cream, you know, like it didn't matter what I would do. You could give me money, I would take it, I would put it here in this fund and it would just go up. I would put it in this stock, it would go up. Whatever I did, it just worked. It was like magic. I was like a financial genius, you know, like, but it wasn't me. It was just the way that the market was. Then all of a sudden, you know, 2000 rolls around, 2001, and we know what happened at that point. We end up having the tech bubble that starts, you know, that pops. When the tech bubble pops, it doesn't matter what you were doing with the money, it was just going down, right? Because the market was basically it was in a tailspin. Yeah. So I decided to get out of that space. And when I got out of that space, I realized that the people that stayed in the market, the brokers that actually stayed the course, became a lot more successful after everything was said and done. So I vowed after that point that any time that I would be faced with any type of challenge in the market or whatnot, I would try and find ways to use it to my advantage. So let's fast forward. The next opportunity presented itself to me in 2008. Now, at that point, I was working as a mortgage broker. And I remember in November of 2008, I was in a conference in Vancouver, and there was a whole bunch of mortgage brokers over there. And there was this gentleman that was walking by, and he sees me and he goes, "Excuse me," he goes, what are you guys doing here? And he goes, "Oh, we're mortgage." I said, "We're mortgage brokers." And he goes, "What's a conference for mortgage brokers?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "What are they doing? Handing out nooses for you guys?" You know, like he was like literally like, he goes like, "The market is dead. Like you guys are should be out of business," because that was the market, right? So the market, if you look at what happened in the States, you know, even though mortgage brokers literally had nothing to do with, you know, all the disaster, everyone pointed the finger at them. So a lot of mortgage brokers here believed that they were going to be out of business. Well, what did I do? I said, well, seeing as you guys are going this way, I'm going to go that way, right? And that's where I developed this philosophy of going against the grain always, because that's where the money is. That's how you get to success. When you see someone going in one direction, you have to go the other direction, right? Because the majority of people, what they're doing is they're sheep. They're following what the media is going to tell them. They're following kind of like this train that is not necessarily the right, you know, it's not the right approach. So I decided to go all guns blazing, and Northeast was formed, and we basically, the company exploded. And year over year over year, it just got stronger and stronger and stronger. And then we ended up having more retractions in the market, where the government started putting in all kinds of crazy rules, making the market, you know, go down, go up. Like it was, but all of that, I realized, is out of our control. We can't control what the government is going to do. We can't control what happens in the economy. The only thing that we could control is ourselves. So seeing as we are the masters of our own destiny, we decided at that point, let's push through. And then here we are in 2000, coronavirus happens, and we're faced with the same challenges. So when that occurred, I had two options. I could retreat, like a lot of people did, and go and hide, or I could be the one that's going to be able to educate the public, make people aware of what's actually happening. And the result was explosive. I mean, our, you know, Northeast's numbers, I don't want to just say doubled, they probably tripled year over year. And we had partners at the beginning of 2000 who retracted. And when they retracted, we said, okay, bye, ciao, see you later. Have a good one. And we basically took over everything, and the companies exploded. The brokers that continued to work tripled their numbers, and everything was working out great. So then we were actually looking for a market that was in retraction so that we could see how we could do it. And that was commercial brokerages, because on the commercial side, the commercial brokerage industry was hurting. Retail was down, everything was down, office space was down. So because of that, we said there's an opportunity there that we can basically use that and make it and grow it kind of into the future. And that's what we did. That's why we started to look for commercial brokerages, and ColdWell came around. So we said, what a great name, what a great company, what incredible brokers. To us, it was we knew that there's gonna be a temporary kind of a little pain at the beginning, but once you get kind of past the birthing pains, if you will, then it's good to go. The growing pains, yeah. Growing pains, yeah. I shouldn't say birthing pains, but yeah, growing pains. Then you're good to go after.
Yeah.
I came from the mud. There's dirt on my hands. After accumulating world records writing books and developing strategic partnership with Apple Books, Apple Music, Amazon, Kindle and Amazon Music, Barnes & Noble, and Spotify, Dr. Back is proud to share his tools and connections with all of you. Hope they won't shoot me down soon. For those looking to write a book and to be distributed by the giants of the books and music industries, Dr. Back is bringing to you the Alpha Protocols. The Alpha Protocols are a series of protocols allowing entrepreneurs, visionaries and leaders to narrate their thoughts into books, audiobooks combo, UAX and more. If Dr. Back wrote more than 1.2 million words by himself, you won't have to, thanks to the Apollo Protocol. You don't even have to be a writer. With the Apollo Protocol, we are bringing you from an interview and 24 hours of your working time to a book distributed by Amazon and Apple Books within 30 days. From there you will have access to elevate your book to the other protocols available. The Echo Protocol will empower each author distributed by Dr. Back Publishing Company to have an audio version produced and to be available on combo paperback, audiobook format, distributed exclusively by Amazon and Barnes & Noble. The UAX protocol is the ultimate upgrade of your book, elevating your book to blockbuster status, streaming with the artists on Apple Music, Spotify and Amazon Music. This is your bridge to the pop culture and to make your content contemporary. The Alpha Protocols are available through the services offered by Emotive World Inc. Welcome to the Alphas. With the AMP, Alpha Merger Protocols, Dr. Back and Alpha experts will be advising and helping companies and startups to join the big leagues, aka the stock market. It is the dream of most entrepreneurs to see their company traded in the stock market and to have access to the necessary resources to grow their company and vision. Through SPAC, Special Purchase Acquisition Companies, which have the favor of Wall Street and of the investment community, Dr. Back and experts of the Alphas will be prepping companies to successfully merge with a SPAC. In other words, to be traded on Wall Street. The mandates are on a one-on-one basis. More and more experts and Alphas of the financial world are joining in for this particular purpose. If you have a company and are looking for the ultimate evolution, if you are a startup in the era of digitalization and are looking at huge market and still looking for capital, reach out. You are the next big thing. We are helping you to acquire the funds to make it so. Hundreds of billions of dollars are waiting to be invested as we speak. Welcome to the Alphas.
It sounds so simple when I hear you speak, but you ever have any doubt in this process?
Every day. Every day. Honestly, every day. There's not a single day that I wake up in the morning and I don't second guess anything that I do. And it could be whether it's the acquisition of ColdWell, whether it's forming Northeast, everything. there's always doubts. The key is to just look at the doubts and say, great, thank you for presenting yourself in my brain, and move past it, right? That's how you end up achieving success in anything that you're going to do. And one of my mentors once told me that the way that you actually reach success is how quickly you're able to actually bounce back from problems. Right? Problem presents itself. Most people are going to go, they're going to run and hide. The people that are able to recover from that challenge, if you will, quickly end up reaching success. So how quickly you bounce will ultimately determine your success.
Yeah, the rebound.
Yeah.
Inspiring.
Yeah. Very, very well said. Very well said.
Clint, at the beginning of this celebration, because this is not an interview, it's a celebration, truly.
The COVID celebration.
Yeah.
Party down. Terry Kilakos' name on the offer, and you're very you strongly believe that this will take the company to a next level. Based on what Terry just said, what do you hope for the future for ColdWell Banker Quebec?
Well, what I hope for the future is what I always wanted for ColdWell Banker is to have many locations all over Quebec, and to get the name really like well known, like other companies have accomplished. Like, for example, like when people think of residential real estate, they think about, you know, Sutton or Remax or Royal LePage. I want ColdWell Banker to be one of those names too that comes up to people's minds. And also for commercial, we've been doing commercial for the last 25 years. But if we come up with more like modern technology, more more involved in social media, the name will be very well perceived and well known. It's already very well known in Montreal, but it's limited to the reputation that we've created. But with the tools that Terry is going to bring and Marav, they're going to really, like, I'm very confident they're going to make it more widespread. I'm confident about that.
Terry, would you like to answer to that?
Yeah, I think Clint hit the nail on the head. For us, Marav and I, we come from a world that is more techie, if you will. Both Marav and I, we started off. We actually met working at a tech company. I was a network designer at the time, and she's a computer engineer. So we do bring to the table a lot of technology, a lot of know-how as far as that goes, which tends to streamline things and makes things a little bit more efficient. But the ColdWell name, I mean, it's world known. It's world renowned, more so than some of the other agencies out there. Whether we're talking commercial or whether we're talking residential, it doesn't matter. The ColdWell name is huge in this world. And actually, as a matter of fact, I've actually had, since the acquisition of ColdWell, I've had a few of my clients who said, "Oh, I'm looking for a property in Jamaica. Can you set me up with a ColdWell broker in Jamaica? I'm looking for something in Florida. Can you hook me up with someone in Florida?" And I'm like, "Well, here's Clint," But so I think that as people become more, once we really get our teeth into it and we start doing the kind of marketing that we've always done, whether it's our radio shows that we do, whether it's our podcasts, or more kind of traditional advertising, I think that it's going to really expand. We already have some interest from other offices. Some of them are commercial offices, some of them are residential offices, who would like to open up ColdWell offices here in Quebec. So that could be something interesting because it will expand. And when it starts to grow, it's going to grow fast.
So what is the opportunity here? Let's say that we have investors looking at us, or we have realtors looking at us. What is the opportunity that you're offering right now for ColdWell Banker Quebec? So
ColdWell right now, although it's a very old company, that's very well known in Quebec, it's in its infancy, right? So any brokerage that decides that they want to come on board and take the under the the ColdWell umbrella, if you will, what they're doing is they're getting in on something that is just starting off, if you will, in Quebec, even though it's been around for a very long time, with a very powerful name behind them, so that, you know, they don't have to worry. They have that credibility there. Right. And at the same time, the potential will be huge to recruit, to whether you're looking at commercial brokers, residential brokers, it doesn't matter. And we're talking about a network that spans the globe. How many, Clint, do you know offhand how many brokers there are worldwide right now? ColdWell?
Well,
you remember the number?
About 70,000.
70,000 brokers.
70,000, but that I don't know if it includes also the residential. There's also the residential, yeah. A lot of people. But it's a massive network, right? And there's a lot of value to that network and that name. 140 countries. 140 countries.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I've got a question about how can you create that synergy between helping people to borrow money and helping people to buy a house. I know it looks simple, but would you be stuck in a conflict of interest at some point?
In terms of helping people, what do you mean?
Borrowing,
sorry.
and also borrowing the money.
No, not at all. It's different entities, right? So when you're looking to buy a property, you always need financing, right? Few people are going to come in, they're going to say, here you go, here's a duffel bag full of cash. We can't accept that anyways, thanks to, you know, the rules in Canada. But anyways, most people are not going to buy a property cash. They're going to need financing. And that's one of the things that has made Northeast so successful, is because we have both those entities there. So when we have a real estate transaction, so someone comes in, they say, hey, I want to sell my property, right? So we get the listing. That person that is selling their property, they're going to want to go and buy something else. They need financing. So we supply them with the financing. Then when the buyer comes in, right, for that property that we've just listed, not only are they acquiring that property, but we're also able to provide them the financing for that. So we're able to cross-sell and cross-promote the different companies. And it's going to work the same way with ColdWell, except ColdWell, they're going to be doing whether it's residential or commercial transaction over there. And then when the financing is required, it'll be sent over to Northeast. The Northeast will take care of that. And it creates such a beautiful synergy, because the real estate brokers have this ability to be able to communicate properly and effectively with the mortgage brokers, and vice versa. It's great.
Terry, I know you're president and you have to be very careful of what you're saying, but we're friends, man. Tell me the truth. Would that be easier now for a client to come in and say that, okay, I want to acquire this property? Is that going to be faster and easier for them since you are holding control over more than one step?
Absolutely. Yeah, 100% it will be. Well, think about it, right? If a client comes in to see us and they say, I want to, let's talk now on the ColdWell side, right? And they say, I want to acquire a multi-unit property, right? I want to buy a 20 doors, 18 doors, whatever, it doesn't matter. I want to buy a strip mall. First thing that we're going to do is we're going to take this customer, we're going to say, you know, do you have financing? Are you properly structured? And some people might say yes. And if they say yes, fine. Great, you have financing. Let's say they say no, I'm not sure. What we're going to do is we're going to take them and we're going to set them up right away with a commercial mortgage broker. That commercial mortgage broker is going to help structure them and properly set them up so that when they're actually looking for something, they know exactly what they're looking for. Very similar to when we're talking about getting pre-approved to buy a residential property, right? When someone is buying a commercial property, the bankers don't have time to babysit the client. They don't have time to sit there and say, you got to look for this, you got to look for that, you know, call me on the weekend, I'm going to help crunch numbers with you. This is what we do. This is where we shine. You know, our clients have our brokers' cell phone numbers. So 3 o'clock in the afternoon, when a client has a great idea and says, hey, I want to buy this property, does this work? We can run those numbers in real time for him and say, yes, it works, make an offer of this much, and they work hand in hand with the realtor, and it gets done.
So mostly what you're telling me is you're simplifying the way to buy commercial properties, because right now you're trying to bring this as close as possible to buy a residential property, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Refinance, because mostly you'll be taking care of people before they find a property to buy.
That's right. Get them on the right track, set up the roadmap. And that's what it's all about. At the end of the day, any decision that you do, whether you're buying, I don't care if you're buying a condo or if you're buying Place Ville Marie, right? As long as you have the roadmap, Bach's like, I want Place Ville Marie. But it's true.
Back here.
If you have the right guidance, right, and the right know-how, you can do anything, right? It's just a different skill set that you need. That's it.
And a little bit more money.
And a little bit more money. Yeah.
You have to have a conference and a book about that. If you have the
absolutely.
Right mindset, let's find the tools. And since you have so many tools to share, this is possible. Hey, welcome to the office. I'm Dr. Back. I'm in the heart of Toronto. As you can see, it's a ghost town. Not ghosts, because there's still some people walking around, but this is not the Toronto that we know. This is not what we expect from the Queen City. COVID has changed drastically our way of living, our expectation, and the way that we see life. So I'm doing this series and I'm traveling legally and safely throughout the country to just try to have the pulse of a country, of the trend that are lying under the fear, under our reaction, or under the depression of COVID. COVID Economics will be covering what if this trend continues. And from the bottom of my heart, I just wish that I'll be proven wrong. It's the first time I write a book addressing something else than positivity. This one will be addressing possibilities. Help me to reverse those trends that are starting, trends that might change the future and life as we know. This is not just about us, it is mainly about our children and what kind of society they will grow into. I'll be asking for friends and smart people to pitch in. Hopefully they'll be joining in. It's about a hope for the future, and especially for the next generation. You at home, if you have any ideas, perspective to share, please write to me. COVID Economics. I'm Dr. Back. Welcome to the office.
Calm down before you stress up the groove. The energy a little different when the blessings.
UAX Ultimate Audio Experience is a new platform to learn and enjoy books and stories. Developed by Emotive World Incorporated, under the leadership of Dr. Back, UAX are made to be entertaining while keeping the self-educational value of a book. UAX is a movie without image designed to engage with the visual cortex of both auditive and visual people, keeping you engaged throughout the audiobook experience. UAX is the blockbuster of the audiobooks. UAX will cover most of Dr. Bak's books, and is now negotiating to bring more authors and more titles to the UAX concept. Now streaming on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, and available for download on all major music platforms. Give it a try today. Welcome to the Alphas.
That when we spoke, you were saying something very special. It said that 2020 is perfect vision. If we were about to write a book together, that would be the title. Tell me now, looking back, was 2020 perfect vision to you, and why?
Well, 2020, I have to say, kind of was a blessing in disguise for some people. It really revolutionized the way we work, the way we live, the way we are with different, human beings and everything. I myself, I had to adapt to the way I work even more, and I had to, transition to my new position. Because of 2020, because of COVID, I would say mostly. But it really, I have to say, that it was really a blessing in disguise, this COVID, because people don't realize it, but it really did bring in positive stuff to society. And we will know more if this is going to continue or it's going to go back to the old way it was. But, things are being done very differently now. Like a real estate transaction, a notary would never do it remotely or electronically. Now they're open to it now. So more buyers can buy. There's a more pool of buyers now, international buyers. They don't have to travel and come physically to Quebec to sit in front of a notary. They could do it from wherever they are in the world. And that's going to make prices go up. And I think that's one of the reasons why the prices are really going up now. Like, it's craziness right now what's going on. And not just the residential, but also industrial buildings have really skyrocketed because of COVID. And I'll tell you why. Online marketing or online businesses are doing much better than they were doing before, because people are not going to retail stores, so they need more warehousing, more distribution centers. So the prices went from pre-COVID of $100. Now they're almost they're pushing close to $200 a square foot. Imagine, in 1 or 2 years. It's craziness. And I don't want to get into the residential, what's going on with the overbidding and nonsense about, prices don't even make sense anymore, but people are buying. So that's what I see. That's the positive thing that came out of COVID and 2020. That's why I said back then, we have to have a clear vision, and that's what it was. Here we are now, a year later.
You're gonna hate me here, but based on what you just told me, it's the market, it's about to explode. It is booming already in residential real estate. Yeah. And you know that industrial and retail will be coming back. Industrial is already going up.
Yeah.
How do you define that? It was a good deal for you to sell your company at booming. And I'm sorry, well, look, I have to ask the question.
Yeah, no problem. It wasn't that. That wasn't one of the reasons why I sold it. I sold because I felt like, because I couldn't come and travel, and I felt like it's becoming more and more difficult, and I felt like a father that kind of abandoned their child in another country, and they cannot go see that child. How would you feel as a father that you cannot be close to your child? And this company, like I said in the beginning, was my baby. Now, I said, I'm going to let another parents adopt my baby. That's how I looked at it. So I didn't look at it as I'm selling it. I looked at it as I'm giving it to somebody else that's going to take better care of it.
Or as good care of it, let's say.
Or as good care of it. Yes.
Henry, this is your chance. If you want to keep Clint involved throw something here, and if you say yes, he's stuck with it.
Well, he's involved whether he likes it or not. We're going to be doing some cross-border transactions here. So, and Clint he does advise me in Marav, and he is also one of the brokers now. So
and I'm very excited about this. Other people might sell their business and move on. Actually, I'm more involved now because I want to see where this is going to go to. I want to know what's the next chapter of ColdWell Banker. So I'm more involved, and I'm very curious.
Yeah.
We're all business people here. I think that you just underline something very important here. A company, it's people. It's a team of people. And as you find synergy, I think this is where the companies will be growing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, I do want to, I want to mention something about, if you remember last year when we had done the Meet the Alphas, do you remember? I'm not sure if I even talked about this, but we talked about the market and, talking about, having a vision of, 2020 looking forward. Do you remember I said that the real estate market, even though the Bank of Canada and, all the finance minister and everyone and CMHC was saying that the market was going to actually go down? I said, there is no way in hell that the market is going to go down. It's actually going to go up. And this is what we saw. There's no inventory. There's, Montreal, forget about Canada, forget about anywhere else. Let's look at Montreal. People are going to hear what I'm about to say and they're going to say that I'm crazy, but I compare Montreal to Manhattan. And I'll tell you why. Manhattan and Montreal are both islands. And by the way, there's a lot of people that don't realize Montreal is an island, but yes, Montreal is an island, people. Not anyone that's listening to this show. I'm sure everyone that listens to the show knows that Montreal is an island, but Montreal is an island. And seeing as Montreal is an island, there's a certain amount of space on it. Just like Manhattan, there's a certain amount of space. And I don't care if, the property is located in the East End, the West End, the North, the South, and the center. It doesn't matter. It is going to go up because you can't make more earth. You can't grow it anymore, right? So because you can't grow it anymore, it is what it is. And honestly, I think that once the economy kind of really starts to take off in Montreal, and hopefully whether it's this mayor or the future mayor or whoever it's going to be, if they start to attract more business and more commerce and more industry inside this little island, we're going to see a massive explosion in the price of real estate, more so than what you're seeing right now. I don't think that there's going to be a correction. I don't think that there's going to be a crash, especially not in Montreal.
No. Whatever you're going to buy today, it's going to appreciate.
Yeah.
We cannot guarantee it, but the signs are all there.
Yeah. It's supply and demand. At the end of the day, it's supply and demand, right? There's nothing, can't say anything else. Supply and demand. If there is,
it's real estate. It's tangible. It's not cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is going up. It's great, but God knows what could happen after.
Yeah.
But this is a tangible asset,
Yeah.
So here's my last question to you both. I'm a listener. I listen to this. I have a few bucks on the side, but COVID got me to think that a job is not the end of the line to me. How can you help me to grow my wealth and also to grow my personal growth throughout the journey of wealth?
So for me, it's all about passive income. And, if I look at my evolution as a business owner, and if I look at my, how I grew my wealth, it's all through passive income. So I have rental properties that pay for my lifestyle, right? Mind you, I think I need to buy a few more rental properties because I think my lifestyle has gotten a little bit more than what let's say once upon a time, my rental properties paid for my lifestyle almost 100%. Okay. Which means that any work that I was doing it so that I can put money aside. Right. So I grew my wealth by growing my real estate portfolio, and I grew it looking at passive revenue. Now, the challenge that a lot of people have today is that they're going to go and they're going to buy a property and they don't have that passive revenue stream because they're going to buy for X amount of dollars. And because of rent controls and because of everything else that we have in Quebec, you're going to end up in a situation where you're not going to be able to have that positive cash flow that's going to pay for your lifestyle. It'll still help build your wealth because obviously with every mortgage payment that you make, there's money that's getting put aside, but you're not creating that cash flow that'll create that passive income necessarily. But the thing that I love about real estate is you're also not limited to one geographic location. Nothing stops you from going out and buying properties up north in St. Jerome. You don't have to buy on the island of Montreal. You could buy in Three Rivers. You can buy in Quebec City. You could buy anywhere, right? And as long as you're making money on the deal, you're good to go on it. And then you could set up a team to take care of that property. I haven't visited one of my properties in years. I have people that take care of them. Even though I'm very capable of changing a toilet and doing what needs to be done, I don't do it because I just don't have time anymore to take care of them. But nonetheless, they're there and the revenue comes in every first of the month. I have money that goes into my bank accounts and it's wonderful. So if you have money that you're sitting on, that's one way. The other thing that you could do is you could do private lending, right? And a lot of people don't realize they're sitting on gold mines, whether it's RRSPs, whether it's their TFSAs, whether it's any type of investment vehicle that they have right now. It's sitting there. They're putting it into the bank. They're giving it to some advisor to put it in a mutual fund, and it's getting them a return of 3-4%, which is great. But they can do so much more with that money if they had the right guidance and the right advice. So structure yourself a good team, get some proper advisors, people that actually walk the talk. So you don't want to go to a guy and I'm going to get a whole bunch of hate mail for what I'm about to say right now. It's already happened before. You know, I've always said that the financial, I'm going to say this anyways, bear with me. The last time I said this, I was on my show and I had to retract what I say, but I don't care. I'll say it now. The financial planning industry is the only industry where a guy driving a Bentley is going to go get advice from a guy driving a Honda Civic. There's nothing wrong with driving Honda Civics, but the reality is the reality. Okay? You need to surround yourself with people that walk the talk, that know what they're talking about, and that actually will be right there in the trenches with you. Not someone that's going to say, I think you should put your money there. And maybe it's going to go up. Maybe it won't. But you know what? I don't really care because I'm not involved in that. I don't have my money there because I don't have any money to put in. So, make sense?
Makes sense.
Well, very polite though.
Yeah. I kid you not. I said that once. I said it on the air and all of a sudden, like the whole panel, the texting panel just like lit up. I got, you know, you're an asshole, you're this, you're that, you know, you're insulting young professionals. And I'm like,
you know,
so it is what it is.
Some financial companies, I don't want to name a name, but I was part of them before. And I realized that these guys are making a lot of commission on the deal when their own stock is making more return than the actual return I was getting by buying their financial, like their mutual funds and stuff.
Yeah.
I was getting less return on the mutual fund than if I had bought their stock.
Yeah.
Go figure.
But you see, the problem is that advisor that you had couldn't advise you to buy their stock. And the reason why I got out of the financial planning industry, so don't forget, 1999 till 2001. So I left the company that I was working for as a representative on April 25th, 2001. And you're going to ask, why do you know it was April 25th, 2001?
By the way, I was about to say it, but you beat me to it. It was his birthday yesterday, but
it was.
we have to say,
yeah.
we have to say happy birthday.
Thank you.
April 25th, yesterday. Yes.
There you go. Well,
that's why you remember. Yeah.
Exactly. It was my birthday present to myself. I quit that job because I felt like a complete hypocrite, because I ended up buying my first property at age 24. So at 24 years old, I decided to take my money and invest in a property in Hochelaga Maisonneuve, which paid for my lifestyle. I had a rate of return on that property of over 50%. Meanwhile, my clients, when they would come and see me and they would say, hey, Terry, I have $100,000. What should I do with it? I would have to say, buy this growth fund or buy this, because that's what my license permitted me to do.
You were kind of competing with real estate.
Meanwhile, I was investing. I'm not saying I own mutual funds too. I have RSPs, I have TFSAs. I've got the whole 9 yards. Yeah. But my money is not there. My wealth wasn't built by buying mutual funds and buying, putting money in my RSP and my TFSA. Those are strategies or tools that I use for various reasons.
They're more like cushions. Yeah. But you're not going
to
be rich on those.
No, the wealth is built elsewhere.
You're right.
In a wolf pack or in a human society, an alpha is a leader that does not fear to pave the way for the whole group to move forward and to be empowered. They take the lead in spite of themselves, they learn and grow every step of the way, and by doing so, they inspire a movement. Behind these leaders, there is a story, a dream, a journey. Ahead of them, there is a purpose. What is it that drives them and keeps them going? What motivates them to keep inspiring the world through their accomplishments? International counselor Brenda Garcia takes you through the stories of these leaders, and as she gets to know the men and women behind the titles as they open up about their paths and their aspirations. This is Alpha Touch, a humane and sincere discussion with international role models from all fields, who have one thing in common: they dared to dream big. Learn from unique journeys, get inspired. Feed your legend. Welcome to the Alphas.
We talk about leadership. There's something else we have to mention is it's all a question of confidence and trust. So after this crisis, with the aerosol, with the virus, people will be scared, anxious to go back to a clinic. We will have to address that fear. So what we're proposing, with your help, with the investment, we're going to bring this to the highest level possible of protection, but without having a cage or a prison. Until now, MX has invested heavily in the design of the space to make sure that the patient is the most comfortable. At this stage, what we're committed to do is to keep that design, is to keep the idea of comfort and to bring it to the next level. To add an extra layer of safety to it. And our motto, based on the market that we are looking at, will resume by September as usual. If the crisis is over, this is not risk-free, but is as close as can be to rebuild an industry risk-free.
And Clint, how could you help them, since now that you have access to more than one market and you're still keeping your active role in Quebec? How can you help them diversify it, or maybe buy a good place under the sun?
Well, I could help them by having a presence here in Florida. I'll be their Floridian brother to the company, you could say. So they could say to their clients, we have an office in Florida, we could help you guys there too. And I could say, I have an office in Montreal where we could assist you there. So like that, we built the synergy between the two offices. And there's not many Montreal offices that could say that they have presence in another country. And it's the number one place that all Quebecers and Canadians love to go. Like if I would be in New York right now, or Chicago, or Arizona, or California, it's not the same. Florida is Florida. There's 1 million Quebecers only that come to Florida every year. Just Quebec. Imagine the rest of Canada. So it's a big market here. And they're going to come even more now because of COVID.
Yeah.
So again, I was a buyer, and it's one thing to find property. It's another thing to pay for it or to finance it. So now that we have access to a mortgage firm, and let's say that Clint find me something to buy in Florida. Terry, can I go to you to get the finance?
Absolutely. Yep.
Really?
Yep. 100%. So we do offer mortgages in the United States as well as in Canada. We have other firms that we work with. Hopefully you don't ask me what states we are in. We are in 13 different states. So there is actual, we do have the ability to do it, and Florida is one of the states that we work in.
That's good.
So unlike you, Terry, I don't think I'm going to have hate mails saying this. You at home, if you're looking to do something more after this COVID crisis, I think you should just reach out. No matter what you have in mind, I think that just to know what's possible will be a good start. And I can tell you that I bought real estate in 2010 in the United States, 2010 to 2012, at the lowest of the market. I make a lot of money from it, but I didn't have that kind of support. I didn't have support and say that I'm going to have somebody who's going to hold my hand to find me a property. Somebody else will say, I'm going to hold your hand to find you the money to pay for it. And then I'm pretty sure that Clint will say that you don't have to take care of it. I'll come down.
Property management. Yeah.
This is all too easy. And I know people don't believe it's easy. Actually, it's not easy. It's just simpler if you know who to ask and if you have that trust relation going on.
I think it is easy as long as people get out of their own way, if that makes sense. If you know, like the amount of times that I'll have investors, they're going to come and they're going to ask me certain questions. And they're going to say, hey, you know what? I'd like to do this. And I say, great, for you to do this, we got to do this, and this. And then they look at it and they say, okay, I'll do this, but I'm not sure about this. Maybe I'll do this. Follow the roadmap. You'll reach the success. It's black and white. There's no shades of gray or color.
Again, if you do so, please write to us because we would like to have your stories future. Terry, Clint, this is the time we had. It was such a pleasure to have you both with us to come just share your story of celebration and of success. I usually end up all my interviews with a message of hope. Since there's two of you here, I'm going to let you fight for the mic. But what are your hope for the future? 2020 was perfect vision, according to Clint. So what is 2021?
Go for it, Clint. I'll take over after.
Well, 2021 is basically we end up back to 2019. That's what I would say. You know, 2019 was such a great year. And, you know, 2020, like I said before, it had its advantages, and it was a kind of a blessing in disguise, but it's unfortunate that, you know, people cannot even go to a simple restaurant or go to the gym. Like it's very unfortunate. So I hope all that goes away, and like Terry said before, it explodes like it's supposed to explode. Montreal is like a hidden gem, and Montreal should definitely be in the same level as Toronto for sure, but even like bigger cities like Manhattan, New York, and Paris, and it won't maybe get there, but eventually it will. So that's my message of hope for Montreal.
I'm going to echo what you just said. I don't know if I want it to be like 2019, because then that means that the year after there's going to be another pandemic. But, you know, I would definitely like to see things go back to normal. I do miss going out, just like I'm sure a lot of people do. I wish that people are able to reconnect with their families. You know, just generally, things need to become a little bit more relaxed, and all this kind of COVID stuff gets behind us. That's what my wish is.
It's a real honor to have people of your caliber at the Alphas, and also it was a privilege to share your story of success. I'm going to just finish on this because it is too much just to listen to you people and not talk. But what I would like to wish for all of us for 2021, I think that the reign of fear has went for long enough. It is time for us to try to start just to regain our faculties. And let me just on this share with you, it's very rare that I do that on screen, but let me share with you a personal story. At the beginning of this year, people will know that Dr. Bag is somebody who's always smiling, always. But since the beginning of this year, it was harder for me because I think that COVID fatigue just caught on. It took me a month to understand what was going on with me. It was because I was reacting for the last 12 months to everything. I was just there and just tried to cope with the news, try to cope with everything. Since I took over the reign back and said, no, let's return to what I was before, I'll be provoking things instead. I will just be ahead of the curve instead. And that somehow solved my COVID fatigue. That was just a personal story. But now listen to Terry and Clint talking. They have the tools to help you get to the next level. So whatever you think in mind, just don't think it. Reach out and you can build it. And by 2022, you'll say that 2021 was the best thing that ever happened to me. Because now I have time to reflect. And this is, I think, that was the idea of Clint by saying that 2020, we're going to miss those time eventually. Because that was the only time in our life where time was a luxury that we have. With this, I hope that there's going to be a next chapter after this one. Terry, Clint, you'll come back saying that you're going to just merge and take over the world again with another company. It's so exciting to hear inspiring story as yours. Thank you so much. This was Dr. Back. Welcome to the office.
I'm living right here and now, and I don't wanna miss out. This is what life's all about. The world is calling and I'm listening. Yeah, I'm listening. I feel the freedom inside. Come on, let's go for a ride. I finally opened my eyes and I can see it so clearly. So clearly. Life is but a dream. And isn't it amazing? Oh, life can be amazing. I feel my heartbeat racing. I'll fly soaring ever higher. I can light my inner fire, and then we'll see what happens now. What happens now? And then we'll see what happens now. What happens now? Watch what happens now. Sometimes we have what it takes, sometimes we make our mistakes, and now the journey awaits. So don't you wanna come with me? Come with me. We'll make our way to the top. We'll never break, never stop. And when we get to the spot, we'll know we made it there together. We'll remember forever that life is but a dream. And isn't it amazing? Oh, life can be amazing. I feel my heartbeat racing. I'll fly soaring ever higher. I can light my inner fire, and then we'll see what happens now. It's amazing, oh, it's amazing. It's amazing, it's amazing. It's amazing, it's amazing. Whoa, it's amazing, oh, it's amazing. It's amazing, it's amazing. It's amazing, it's happens now.